Joining us now, BD8 Capital Partners CIO, Barbara Doran. Barbara, welcome. So one trading day left in a week defined by that cool CPI print. Now the PPI report. Equities up, yields down, bank earnings start tomorrow. Do you trim more here, waiting for a pullback, or do you hold tight?
Well, that's a good question, John, because in the last month or so, my instinct has been to trim positions because after such a strong run in the first half, it just sort of common sense and risk management and years in the business, you know, that's the prudent thing to do. However, the inflation numbers that have just the CPI, the core CPI, which was the best in 2 years yesterday, is very encouraging. You know, it shows inflation. If you look at the core CPI number since last September, it has steadily come down from 6.6 to 5.7 in December. We had a little tiny blip up in March, but it continues to trend down. So now we're at 4.8%. And if we keep at that rate, it will continue at year end, could be 3.8%. Next year, mid-year, 2.8, which is still above the Fed's target. But it's showing we're going in the right direction. Meanwhile, we have strong jobs, strong wages. You know, we've seen the recent payroll numbers. The ADP number last week was a big blip. Jobless claims this morning, even it's a shortened week, still showed no signs of stress there. You know, so the economy looks in decent shape, although there are clearly, you know, slowing parts of the economy, mostly the interest rate sensitive. So I think what you see from here, the question is, you know, what happens now? Have we seen most of the gains? And I think we haven't. I think the Fed will, you know, it's pretty much baked in that they're going to raise in a few weeks, but then I think they're going to be on hold. And unless something happens, inflation doesn't keep coming down, and there's no reason to think it won't, I think you will continue to see the market hold up. So the question is, where do you be? You know? So
what do you do with a stock like Delta, which you own in some accounts? You know, best in class airline, travel has been strong, services have been strong. The CEO on CNBC today sounded pretty bullish. Do you just hold on to it? Do you add to it? What?
We know there's still this post-COVID behavioral changes. And normally airlines, even though they've become an oligopoly, have tended to be very cyclical. So you go, okay, they're discounting the current traffic. Things are going well. And Delta in particular, it is a best in class. I agree with that. I've owned it for a while. But you've seen they've beat the numbers on all metrics. Their guidance going forward is strong. In fact, they upped it, which is interesting. You think, okay, maybe this is it. But they're paying, you know, capital expenditures will be down, free cash flow is up, and they're also still only a 7 PE, where historically they're 8 to 10. The key question, though, of course, is demand. And I think demand will continue to hold up. There is this incredible pent-up demand, and consumers are spending. And this year, it's international. Last year, you started to see a little bit of international, but I think as Helene Becker pointed out earlier, you know, you were still getting tested as of June to get back into the country. And if you got COVID, you were stuck at whatever country you were in. So I think there's unbelievable demand that's going to continue well into next year. So I think their optimistic guidance for next year could hold up. And this stock then could be a $70+ stock a year out from here.